Hey, what's up, everybody? JayC here with another live stream, Sunday night live stream, and I just want to welcome everybody who is joining us tonight. Let's just take a quick look at who is in the house. Quinn's Comics is here. Chris, Stanley's Toy Channel, what's up? Toy Bandit, Dark Vader's Collectibles, Lord Venger, Lord Venger's in the house. King Kino, Blake Tarpley is in the house, and Blake is uh, kind of the guest of honor tonight. And in a minute, I'll tell you why. And Joseph Jenkins is in the house. Bean is in the house. Evening. Victor Perez, what's up? Dr. Steinman. So looks like we got a pretty full house tonight. So I'm going to try and keep tonight's live stream to about an hour. I've been on vacation this past week, so no videos this week, as I'm sure you probably realized. Or maybe you didn't, I don't know. But video should be picking up starting tomorrow, regular news videos. Of course, tomorrow will be another Hasbro live stream event where I am guessing, well, not guessing, I pretty much know one of the main focuses is going to be the retro Fantastic Four wave. They might have some other surprises there. In fact, I would guess they probably will, but definitely we should be seeing the full reveal for that Fantastic Four retro wave. So definitely be talking about that. But this past week, it was a little bit quiet, but we did have some news, on the Power Rangers front with we finally got those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Power Ranger crossover figures revealed. We've talked about those in the past. We've seen listings for those, so we finally got those revealed this past week. We got new updated images for Mattel's second wave of Masterverse figures based on the Revelation series. So we had a few things come out this past week. Let's see. Ronaldo says, "Missed me." Thanks, man. I got to tell you, the vacation was nice. I mean, I was still doing some news posts on the website. Had some other folks helping out as well. So, we still managed to keep fairly up to date with the news on the websites. But it was much needed break. I mean, I really haven't had much of a vacation in well over a year, in large part thanks to COVID. So it was just nice to get away a little bit, unplug a little bit. Did some camping with the family, so that was fun for the most part. Had really good weather. It was like every day last week. We were at this place in Ohio, and this campsite in Ohio, and every day last week it was like really didn't get hotter than the 80s, which is amazing for the middle of August. So really got lucky on that front. But so let's get into the main gist of tonight's live stream, which is really kind of talking about next Sunday's live stream, which is one that I think all of you are going to want to tune in for. That is August the 15th. We'll be starting about this time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And next week is going to be the return of pop culture trivia. And we have got probably some of the best prizes that we have given away for pop culture trivia to date. So I've got a number of G.I. Joe items that I'm going to be giving away next week. So, oops. So I've got a Baroness and bike set that I'm going to be giving away, a Cobra Viper, and Major Blood. So all three of those are going to be given away next week for you G.I. Joe Classified fans. Now these figures have actually, especially like that Baroness and Viper, have been. I haven't checked here in the last few days or so, but Target has actually been keeping those in stock fairly regularly on their website. So you may have already gotten those. But the main prize, main giveaway for next week is, and this is where Blake, which if you're a regular here on the channel during the live streams, is a name you're probably familiar with, has graciously put up the money for. But we are going to be giving away a Galactus, a HasLab Marvel Legend Galactus. Now, I have to, preference this by saying that's assuming that this project gets fully backed with the 14,000 subscribers. If by some remote chance it didn't, you wouldn't get anything, just like none of us would. But assuming that it does go through, and I'm pretty sure it will, it's about to break 11,000 here probably within the next 24 hours. So it's got less, it'll have, it's right now it's just got over 3,000 to go before it breaks that 14,000 mark. So I have little doubt that it will break that 14,000. But we will be giving away a HasLab Galactus. Now the way it'll work is the winner of that particular prize. Essentially, what I'll be doing is I will be purchasing it or backing it, whatever you want to call, on the HasLab website, and then I'll be putting in your information, your name, and your mailing address as the place for Hasbro to send it once they actually go out. So at that point, you'll just be waiting for Hasbro to send it out, just like the rest of us. I won't have any control over it or anything like that. So I will tell you that you will need to be eligible to have it shipped from Hasbro Pulse. Meaning, so that means you either have to be, I think, United States, Canada, and the UK. So you'll have to have an address in one of those locations because it will be coming from Hasbro Pulse. You'll need to be 18 years or older. So if by some chance you're under 18, you'll need to get, make sure your parents are with you or what have you. And then you'll end up having to provide me your name and your mailing address because again, then I will relay that information when I make the purchase on Hasbro Pulse, so that it's sent to you when it actually goes out. So, and Blake, as I said, he is fully fronting. He put up the money himself, the $400 for this figure for one of you guys out there to have it. So, as much as I'd love to take credit for it, I'm just the one, basically handling the contest to give it away. But it's all Blake with that one. The G.I. Joe figures I'm putting up, but Blake has graciously donated essentially the money for that Galactus for one of you guys to win. So if you happen to see him there, be sure to thank him. Even if you don't win, I mean, just the gesture there is really awesome on his part. So. Like I said, he normally makes really nice donations through the super chat function here during the live streams and everything. But this time he wanted to make sure that one of you guys was the benefit there. So cheers to Blake. And again, all of this will be given away next Sunday in next Sunday's live stream. If you're familiar with pop culture trivia, you know how it kind of works, and we'll go over those details next week. But you'll just want to make sure you brush up on your action figure trivia, cartoon, things like that related to pop trivia. I'll try and probably keep it to toy related stuff primarily. I might throw in a few extra questions, but essentially we ask questions or I ask questions, and then I take the first correct answer I get that comes across the comments, and then their name goes into a drawing, and then at the end of the night we draw names for the winners of the prizes. So that's the big news. That's the big news of galactic proportions. And again, thanks to Blake for that, and hopefully everyone here will tune in next Sunday, and maybe more people who weren't watching tonight will as well. But yeah. So again, big thanks to Blake because that's really generous of him to make that donation and such. Now again, I just got to preference this, even though I don't think it's going to be a concern. If the Galactus project does not, if you win, and then for some strange reason the Galactus project didn't get funded, it's not like I'm going to replace Galactus with with another $400 item, you wouldn't get the figure. But I really don't think there's any chance of that um, happening, being that we're so close to the 14,000 already, and we've got plenty of time to go. So now this week, I don't know if this is a sign that Hasbro is maybe a little bit nervous, but they did go on and this week get through some of these reveal the first unlockable tier, which they had teased. I'm just trying to get to the picture. So here we go. So they officially revealed that Nova, the Frankie Ray Nova figure, will be the first unlockable tier at 16,000 backers. So if we get to the 16,000, not only will you get Galactus, but you will also get Nova here. I really not sure we're going. We might probably decent chance, I would say, halfway decent chance at least, I would say, of breaking 16,000 before all is said and done to get the Nova figure. But I would not be surprised if this is the only unlockable tier that we get to with this particular project. I guess they might end up seeing a big boost towards the end, but I'm guessing that the next tier wouldn't be unlocked until like 18,000, and which, based on the teases, looks like it's just some version of Silver Surfer. So even if it was like a Vac Metal Silver Surfer, I don't see that drawing in tons and tons of people who aren't. I mean, there are obviously people who are just waiting. They're just saving up the money. They plan on backing it, but they're waiting towards the end. I generally tend to do that myself, but have every intention of probably backing the project. But then there are those who are just really like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. I just, money's tight right now, and I'm not going to get this one. And I don't see a Silver Surfer figure throwing those people over the fence. And saying, "Oh my God, Silver Surfer! I'm going to back it now, even though I wasn't going to before." So, I really feel like that. Definitely, I think there's very little chance that we won't get the 14,000 backers to get the Galactus figure itself, and I think there's a decent chance we'll get to 16 when all is said and done. There's always a big burst as you get towards the end, as I said, people saving up or what have you. So, and I don't know, like a lot of times, there's international sales, people, retailers that Hasbro's working with outside of Hasbro Pulse in certain areas, places like Zavvi and a few others. So I don't know if any of those places have started to, provide their numbers of sales and stuff, which will oftentimes jack up the counter a bit. So that's a possibility as well, that we could see like towards the end a big boost just from international sales. So, but getting past 16,000 to like 18,000 or more, to me is very much starting to look very, very unlikely. So I really think that possibly Nova is going to be the only add-on that we get for this project. Toy Bandit says, plot twist, they're going to release a Herald of Galactus box set, overpriced. I think they were going to do Heralds. I think all the unlockables were going to be Heralds of some type. I don't, Silver Surfer was probably the weakest, but I mean, they made reference, and I think it was the last live stream, that they had room to fit more images of figures in that one thing, like up to, it looked like they could maybe have fit 4 different figure images in that one image of Galactus, where they had started to tease the Nova and Silver Surfer. So it's possible there was 2 other heralds that they were going to do, and Jesse Falcon had said in the original live stream that the last one was going to be the coolest. I don't know if we'll even get wind of what that was or not. I was originally thinking that it was going to be the Nova figure, that is what he was talking about. I was a little surprised that Nova ended up being the first unlockable, but maybe they wanted to make sure that figure got out there. I don't know. Blaine says we already have 3 cosmic figures for Walgreens that are barely starting to ship. Yep, Walgreens is really, I don't know what's going on with Walgreens. Who knows when we're going to see Nova? I mean, it's supposed to be sometime this summer, but I mean, I consider summer to be June through August, and we're almost halfway through August, and still no sign of Nova here in the United States at Walgreens yet. And then we've got Quasar and Binary, which supposedly is going to be out, I guess, here in the fall. I mean, it'll probably Binary. My guess will probably start hitting EB Games probably as soon as early September, but who knows when we'll see it here in the United States. What's up, Tony C? Chris says, I think the numbers will spike after tomorrow's stream, and once retailers' orders are counted, it's sure to go up enough over to 16. I think there'll be a small bump. Like, I think we'll definitely end up going over 10,000 tomorrow after the live stream. Maybe even before, I don't know. But I don't think we'll see such a huge bump after tomorrow's live stream that like we'll go from 10,000 to 11,000 or yeah, 11,000. So uh, yeah, I think we'll see a bump. And again, I definitely feel like we probably will get over 14, and we might when all is said and done, we might get to 16. But I think it's going to probably take almost the full time to get to the 16,000. I really don't see. I really don't see going much past 16,000 the way it's been going, even with the bumps that generally come with these types of projects. King Kino says the Mattel ring has no chance in hell. I don't know. I mean, let's right now that one he's talking about Mattel's Ultimate Edition Generations Arena for $250 and needs a minimum of 5,000 backers. And right now it's got 2,159, so not quite halfway there, and just 2 weeks to go. So I would agree it's going to be tight. They just threw in late last week. They threw in the Macho Man Madness announcers pack for early birds. So if you go on and fund it between now and August 13th, this is kind of a new twist where they're trying to entice people to not wait and go on and fund it. So they're throwing in this. I don't know. I don't follow wrestling closely enough. I'm not my thumb is not on the pulse of wrestling fans and wrestling action figure collectors enough to know if they could get a big enough boost to push them over 5,000 in 2 weeks or not. I certainly think it's possible, but I agree it's going to be a tight one. And with those, once again, the unlockables, you've got to get 7,000. They've got to get 7,000 to get the Doink the Clown figure, which I think is actually a pretty cool figure. I remember Doink back in the day. He was kind of a cool character, so that one was a cool one. And then those ring skirts, which those to me weren't nearly as appealing. I kind of feel like those ring skirts should have been thrown in automatically, but I don't know. That one's going to be tight. So I I think it'll probably get at least the 5,000 when all is said and done. But I don't feel nearly as confident that that one will succeed as I do like the Galactus one. Here he says, "Yep, IRS sent my tax return." I was like, "Yes, Galactus." All right, so let's jump into some additional news I wanted to talk about today. So next up, I wanted to talk about these turtle figures, these Power Ranger turtle figures, and get your thoughts on those. So again, we'd seen listings for these. We kind of knew they were coming. Not too surprising there. Definitely kind of an interesting take on the turtles. First time Hasbro, I think, has ever done Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures. Shredder in his green outfit. I'm surprised. What I'm surprised about is I'm surprised they aren't doing any of the Power Rangers with the turtle. Like I was expecting the two packs to feature a turtle and a Power Ranger. Because in the comic there's actually the Power Rangers kind of dress up like the turtles a bit. If I'm not mistaken, so I was kind of surprised that they didn't do any of the actual Power Rangers themselves. They just did the turtles. The April figures, the Pink Ranger. So I think if you're into turtles and such, it's kind of a cool concept. Chris says he's not feeling the crossover. 7 days of Gotti. As a casual power fan of Rangers and barely a fan of turtles, they're okay. Stanley's Toy Channel's digging them. I need a Foot Soldier 2 pack. Says Paint Apps. Well, Mario, I, I would think they could do the Power Ranger figures easier than they could, these guys if licensing was an issue. So I don't feel like that would have been a hindrance. It's I don't know. I mean, I obviously I can't say for sure, but that wouldn't strike me as being a hindrance, being they're able to do these. But maybe there'll be a second wave coming. I don't know. Sees is pissed about the Galactus goals. I assume you mean because they're high, and I think that was done deliberately. I think they maybe did overestimate how quickly this would go through, but I think they set them high because they didn't want it to go through the goals as quickly as it did with the Sentinel. So I think they wanted it to be slower, maybe not as slow as it's going, but I think the idea was to kind of slow it down because they went through the goals and everything so fast with the Sentinel. I mean, that's just my personal feeling, but now I will be interested to see what they do when they announce the Star Wars Rancor HasLab project and then the Transformer one. Because my feeling is, and I could be wrong on this, but my feeling is neither one of those projects are going to be super popular. Like I would have I have a feeling that those might struggle, especially if they set really high goals like they did with the Galactus. So it'll be interesting to see if they lower the goals a significant amount with like the Black Series Rancor figure and then the Transformer one as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with those because I think if they tried to set as high a goals with either of those two projects, I'm not sure that they would actually get funded. And again, that's my personal feeling, and I could be wrong, but I don't feel like there's enough people out there that are, especially if the price. I'm assuming the price on that Rancor is going to be similar to Galactus in that $350 to $400 range. So I just feel like there's not going to be nearly as many Star Wars fans out there that are that gung ho about spending that much money on a Rancor. And I wouldn't be surprised if they end up throwing in, a 6-inch Black Series Rancor Keeper with the Rancor. If they don't, that would be strange. But even with the Rancor Keeper as an add-on, I don't. I have a feeling that one is not going to be super duper popular compared to some of the other more recent things that they've done. Trevor says they should have charged more for Galactus and unlocked him at 6,000. I suppose that's a way to go, but 400, I think a lot of people were, having issues with Galactus. I also wonder, like what I would, if they do not give us an update tomorrow during the Hasbro live stream tomorrow on when the Sentinel is going to start shipping out to us. Um, I mean, I was really expecting them to give us an update of some type in the last live stream that they did. So if they don't give it, I mean, I think some people are like, I'm not going to, until I know I'm getting the Sentinel or have the Sentinel in hand. I mean, they might not be willing to wait until the Sentinel is in hand, but at least want to know when the Sentinel is going to start shipping to them before they start plopping down the money for Galactus. So that might be something that's holding some people back. And again, I was really surprised that they didn't give us any kind of update on when the Sentinel is going to ship in the last live stream. So it'll be, I definitely will be interesting to see if they mention the Sentinel and when it's going to start shipping out to folks tomorrow. And like I said, I mean, I've said this before, but you know, I understand it's probably been delayed with all the shipping issues that have been going on. Salome is joining us, everybody. Salome is not getting Galactus. Salome is waiting for me to get Galactus so she can chew on him. But with all the shipping delays and stuff going on in the world, I'm not surprised that the Sentinel has been delayed, but I am surprised that they really have not made any mention of it here in any of the recent live streams. And if they don't mention it tomorrow, I think that would be a huge mistake on their part. What's up, Michael? Pain App says, you think that X-Men Blackbird HasLab is possible? Only other way they'll make you get another Legends HasLab. I won't say it's impossible. I can only speak for myself. A Blackbird, I'm sure would look cool. I don't know if I would be willing to get one. Space, when you start talking about vehicles like that, for me, space definitely becomes a real issue. And then it would be really hard to design something that looks good on the outside but is able to fit all those figures inside and be able to get to it. I mean, you'd have to find some way to like lift the top off, and then it looks kind of silly with the top off of it. So you could set figures inside it, but it wouldn't really look like a good display piece like that. So I feel like something like the Blackbird really limits them, and again, in theory, it sounds cool, but if you're talking about $400 for something that's just going to take up a lot of room and doesn't allow you to really display a lot of figures, other than maybe having them stand outside it, I don't know. I have to think that not nearly as many people would back that, and I would have to put myself in that boat. Maybe a Quinjet. I could see them doing a Quinjet. You might design it a little bit easier because it's a wider vehicle, so that you can maybe display figures inside it a little bit better. I don't know, but all those types of vehicles, I feel like, you know, because they're so expensive, they're so big, they take up so much space, and they don't really allow you to display a lot of figures with it. It's kind of difficult. Pete says Suicide Squad is fire. I'm not sure if that you mean you like it or not. I watched the new Suicide Squad movie last night. I didn't think it was horrible, but I didn't think it was that great either. I didn't think it was any better than the first one. In fact, I kind of liked the first one a little bit better. I felt like this one was trying to be like Deadpool, like a Deadpool movie too much. Where they keep bringing all these guys out and they kill them off in 2 seconds. To me that was just like the scene in Deadpool 2 with X Force. I mean, it was like I don't know. I thought it was overly corny, and I know that's a little bit of James Gunn style, but I don't know. I did not think it was any better than the first one, and I actually kind of thought the first one was a little bit better. I know a lot of people have expressed that they disagree with me on that, but that's just how I came off after I watched it. I didn't think it was horrible. I like some of the characters. Polka Dot Man I thought was interesting. King Shark actually, I thought was pretty interesting, being voiced by Sylvester Stallone. But overall, I just felt like the movie was maybe over sillyized and was trying to be too much like Deadpool. Stanley's Toy Channel. Since we're talking vehicles, think HasLab will do a USS Flag? Not for a 6-inch classified. And right now, since Hasbro's not really putting a whole lot of effort in 3 and 3/4 inch, it doesn't seem likely to me. So I don't. I would have to say that I would not expect a flag to come. And if they did, it would have to be 3 and 3/4 inch. There's no way they could do a flag for 6-inch scale figures. Um, I think if they ever do a GI Joe HasLab project, and to me that's a big if. I'm not really sure we'll ever see a HasLab project for GI Joe, but if they did, I think it would have to be like a smaller vehicle. They would do it for 6-inch classified, and it would probably be like a smaller vehicle of some type. So something like maybe a Fang Copter, or maybe give us a Pentor with his glider, or Zartan Swamp Ski, or something along those lines. Um, a Hiss tank, maybe. I could see them maybe doing a Hiss tank. That's probably the largest vehicle I could see them doing for HasLab. But I would never expect them to do like any of the big play sets or large vehicles for 6-inch. So definitely, I don't think there's much chance that they would ever do a flag. I'm still waiting for them to do a goddamn Death Star playset for Star Wars. I mean, to me, that's like such the no-brainer of a HasLab project for Star Wars, and yet here we're now get third HasLab project, and now we're getting a 6-inch Rancor. I don't know what the deal is with the Death Star, why they won't do the Death Star, but I think if they ever did a HasLab Death Star, that would sell instantly. Yellow Jacket had fun with Suicide Squad. Like I said, it wasn't. I didn't think it was horrible. And I watched it at home on HBO Max. I didn't go to the theater and watch it, so it didn't really cost me anything extra. But I don't really think Suicide Squad should be that silly. Um, maybe I'm just not in tuned enough with Suicide Squad. I don't know, but I mean, well, I don't want to give spoilers for people who haven't seen it, but I just thought it was over sillyized. It's not really a word I just made up, but that's just kind of how I viewed it after watching it last night. I agree. I thought Bloodsport was probably and General Flag or Colonel Flag. Flag I thought was good, a solid character. Peacemaker, I don't know. He did decent job though. Supposedly he's getting a spin-off series, which I'm not sure I'd be that interested in a spin-off series, but but I just like I said, the overall plot just came off kind of silly. MK Solid, any predictions on Medieval Spawn Kickstarter? When? I would expect soon, um, but I don't know exactly when. But maybe October timeframe. I'm thinking, and that's really just kind of a guess off the top of my head. But definitely, I would imagine it's this year. But it might be with all the shipping problems and hassles and everything that's been going on. They might be waiting for things to kind of straighten up a little bit. I don't know. Salome is over here causing trouble, so yeah, I don't see a Defiant happening either. All right, well, final bit of news I wanted to talk about tonight is the new Masterverse images we got this week. So we had seen the package images for this wave, and I know a lot of you aren't fans of Tila, this version of Tila. I don't think it's too bad looking, but it probably is my least favorite figure in the wave. But I don't think it's a bad figure. Spike Ore is. I mean, if you like classic Spike Ore, I think you gotta like this one. And Man at Arms, and Spike Ore are my two favorite in this wave. And then Beastman. Actually, I think Beastman's probably my least favorite. I like Tila better than Beastman. And not that it's bad looking, but I would have probably rather had a classic Beastman, even though we really didn't see classic Beastman in the first part one series. But and I still like the cartoon. Still waiting. Hopefully we get some news soon on when part two is going to air. I finally just got Mossman and Evil Lyn from Wave One. I'd gotten He-Man and Skeletor previously, but I finally just actually they arrived when I was on as I was on vacation, so I haven't even had a chance to open them yet. But Evil Lyn I think is probably the best figure in Wave One, and then and Wave Two is pretty solid for the most part. I'm waiting. I want to know. I'm, I was surprised that Mattel did not have any kind of like Comic Con panel for Masters of the Universe. I guess they're holding for next month for PowerCon, but Michael says when does the next wave of Masterverse figures get released? Probably, I believe they should start shipping by. Let me check here. I believe October is the official date, but I would not be surprised if we start seeing them next month in September. But I believe October is the official date that has been given. Does Big Bad? So yeah, if they're saying September, then definitely. Yeah, usually stuff starts to show up somewhere earlier than any of the official release dates. So if Big Bad's got September, I would say probably closer to the end of September than the beginning. But yeah, Skeletor and He-Man are pretty easy to get. Mattel keeps like shipping out both Origins and Masterverse. They keep shipping out all these Skeletor and He-Man figures, which is annoying. I mean, I get the idea of wanting to keep your main characters out on shelves, but you can overdo it, and Mattel usually does. And what happens is the stores have so many He-Man and Skeletor, they don't have room for the other secondary characters, and so you never see those on the shelves. Now, fortunately, most of these are available online, so you can get them that way. But I would not be surprised if if most of the secondary characters beyond He-Man and Skeletor end up being fairly difficult to find at mass retail. All right, my computer. Let's see. Not sure what he's referring to. I think Kevin Smith is busy now with filming his new Clerks movie, which is why he's kind of moved on. But I don't know when, who knows when Netflix is going to release part two. Any word on the Origins movie figures from the night? Other than those listings that have shown up in Target, I've not heard anything more on those. So, I mean, I don't even know 100% that that's what they're going to be based on. But in the Target system, it just says movie figures, so movie He-Man Skeletor. So that's the assumption. But no, I've not heard anything more on that. And probably Mattel probably wouldn't officially announce those until, again, probably PowerCon, I'm guessing. Shartimus Prime Street Humans. Yeah, he's working on a new action figure line. He's been kind of teasing the last couple of weeks. So he's trying to make action figures. I wish him the best, but I got to tell you, yeah, they'll probably release Roboto. I mean, I've seen listings for Roboto, so he's definitely coming. But I got to tell you, as far as Shartimus and his action figures, I mean, I wish him most success, but I have no interest in making action figures myself. It's never been something I've had really any interest in doing, and everything I've heard, from the industry about, dealing with the factories and all that jazz, it's like, oh, not sure why you want to take that on, but he seems excited for it. So I started announcing him when I was on vacation, so I haven't looked at him that closely. He told me, right before I left for vacation about him, but like mentioned that he was doing them, but I have not looked that closely into them. You think Super 7 will ever re-release He-Man Funimation figures? If we get, I mean, I think we'll see classic versions of characters done in the Masterverse line at some point. I don't think Masterverse is only going to ever include just Revelation characters, but I don't think, I think it would come from Mattel, not from Super 7. Maybe down if all, we don't get any more cartoons, if the second He-Man cartoon bombs and after the second part of Revelation comes out, there's no more of that, and things like, He-Man kind of just drops off the face of the planet, then maybe they would allow Super 7 to go back and do He-Man again if they wanted to. Their plate's pretty full, I would say. They've got Thundercats, they've got Silverhawks. They're trying to relaunch Silverhawks. They're trying to get a new cartoon going. So I'm not sure they would even want to. But anything He-Man in the foreseeable future, I would say, is going to come from Mattel, not from Super 7. Yeah, I memean, if they got the license, or if Mattel, it's not like if Mattel allowed them to do figures, then they might. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. What's up, television? I'm doing good. How about you? Yep, me too, Blaine. I've got all those figures on pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store. Thundercats, not Silverhawks. I'm not that much into Silverhawks, so I'm gonna pass on Silverhawks. Though I am interested to see what they do with the new cartoon. But I've got all the Thundercat figures on pre-order from Big Bad Toy Store, and the Thunder Tank as well. Shartimus is merely the face, the antenna, nothing more. Well, he's working with other people. He's not a sculptor. He's not a artist. He's not a designer. So there's, but I think it was his idea. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think he's working with people in the industry to try and make this happen. And but I think it was his initial idea of the figures, and and I'm sure he worked with those people to design and what have you. But it is definitely, it's not like him alone is making these action figures. He's working with people in the industry to try and make that happen. So it's definitely a team effort. I just, like I said, to me, all the I mean, there are tons of people out there who are trying to launch these little, individual independent action figure lines, and I wish them all the best. And if you're a sculptor and that's your livelihood, that's a little bit different. But to me, and again, I'm not saying I wish, I hope the best for Shartimus and I hope it's successful. But everything I've seen for these types of action figure lines is, generally these guys, if they're lucky, they make just enough money to cover their costs and maybe to make some more, keep doing them. But it's not like any of these guys ever are rolling in the money from these little independent action figure lines. So it's a lot of hassle. Like I said, you get jerked around by the overseas factories because your numbers are so small that you're barely worth the hassle from the factory perspective. So you're always on the bottom of the pile. That's why even companies like Super Seven and stuff struggle to get stuff out on time and stuff because they're not big enough to get the factories priority. So you talk about an individual trying to do something like that, and it's even worse. So you have to spend a lot of time dealing with the factories. From what I'm told, and again, I've never made an action figure, so I'm only going by secondhand information. But what I'm told is, if you really want the factories to do what you want, you've got to actually periodically travel to those factories to make sure that they're producing what you want and stuff. And of course, again, as an individual, that's very difficult to do. If you're part of a large toy company, you've got people who sometimes just live overseas, that can kind of keep an eye on those factories and stuff. But it's a lot of hassle. You're probably not going, again, if you're lucky, you're going to break even, or not much beyond breaking even. And it's just nothing in it because I'm not an artist, I'm not a sculptor. It's just never been something I've been particularly interested in trying to do. But anyone who does, Shartimus, the guys at Fush, they have their action figure line, articulate icons, kind of the same thing. Um, it, you know, I wish them all the best, but for me personally, it's just don't. I guess what I'm saying is don't ever expect me to announce I'm doing an action figure line because it's just not something I love covering action figures for news, but I've just never had a desire to make them myself. Matthew, you're my favorite reviewer. Keep up the good work, JayC. Thank you. Cyber Frog action figures are pushing towards 500,000 stretch goals. Yeah, those look pretty cool. I mean, there's a ton, like I said, there's a ton of like these little independent action figure lines that people do. I mean, things like Kickstarter have really opened the door for people to, crowdsource a lot of this stuff. And we've seen action figure lines that we probably never would have before. So in that way, it's kind of cool, but I just, to me, it's, like I said, it's just personally not my thing. Mattel has like super speed with Masterverse compared to other toy lines. Those went out super fast. Well, I think I mean, they've been planning that line for some time, and they wanted to time it with the cartoon. So, what if figures? I want T'Challa, Star Lord, Zombie Hunter, Spider, Doctor Strange, Supreme, and Hydra Stomper. Well, hopefully you pre-ordered them if those are the ones you want. What If starts this week, right? So Wednesday, I guess, is the premiere of What If. So I'm looking forward to that. I've heard like Captain Carter is going to be in like every episode or something, which should be interesting. And I've even heard rumors that she might end up reprising the role. The actress who plays Peggy Carter might end up reprising the role of Captain Carter in like the Doctor Strange movie or something. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I saw that rumor floating around. So that would be kind of interesting. I think Captain Carter is probably my favorite figure in that wave. So I'm definitely and the Watcher, Watcher and Captain Carter are probably the two I want the most. And I'm hoping I don't have any way of knowing. So I'm hoping tomorrow's live stream we will maybe get a reveal of that Excalibur box set. That's my hope. I have no information on that, but again, I am 99% sure we will see the full Fantastic Four retro wave tomorrow. But anything else, I'm really not sure about. But I'm hoping that we do finally get the reveal of that Excalibur box set or whatever that Excalibur tease was. That we get that revealed tomorrow. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that it is in fact an Excalibur box set, but I won't swear to it. All right, well, it's going on about 8:30. I wanted to keep today's live stream to about an hour. Still a little, was on vacation, but if you go on a long vacation, you can know sometimes they can tire out as much as anything. So, kind of playing catch up and everything. So, I did want to keep today short. But again, next Sunday, the 15th, mark your calendar. We're going to be bringing back pop culture trivia, giving away G.I. Joe classified figures, which Salome is watching over. She's making sure no one steals those G.I. Joe figures. And then, of course, we're going to be giving away a Galactus figure, assuming it's actually funded next week as well, thanks to Blake. So, um, probably we'll be getting a regular news video up tomorrow after the Hasbro Marvel Legend live stream. So, look for that. I got my Captain America Falcon and the Winter Soldier Walmart exclusive Captain America figure. It arrived um, the other day as well. So I might try and review that figure. I know there's already reviews up because of people who got it from overseas, but I've been looking forward to that one. So I might try and get a review of that figure up this week. And then I'm sure there'll be other breaking news during the week as well that we'll be talking about. So hopefully you'll check all those out, and then again be back here next Sunday around 7:30 p.m. I'll put up the official time, but I'm probably going to aim for 7:30 p.m. Eastern time next Sunday the 15th, and we're going to give away a lot of stuff. Hopefully you'll be there. And as always, guys, thanks for checking in tonight, and stay safe out there. And until next time, I'll catch you later.